If you've watched a number of these videos, you know I quite often talk about Nikon cameras, and I do have several boxes of Nikon cameras, and I'm afraid to say that I have been guilty of sometimes forgetting what I have actually got. And the other day I was going through a non-Nikon box and found in it a Nikon F55, which I had completely forgotten about, and thought, oh, that's a camera I haven't done a review on. I can't even remember quite where I got this camera from. I think it was about 6 years ago from an auction, and actually predates when I got I was using Nikon then, but not quite like I'm using it now. So let's talk about the F55. This was a camera which was introduced in 2002, and it's very much of a basic camera. They already had a F65 out, which was a sort of beginner's SLR, and this in some ways comes under that, because although it has lots of really useful things on, it lacks a couple of things. And what it lacks is through the lens flash reading, which I think a lot of people wouldn't actually need, and it has no depth of field. The depth of field preview is very common on Nikons, and it is a bit of a shame this has got it. But let's just talk about the features and what it has got. Number one is it's incredibly ergonomic. It's easy to fit in the hand, it's very light. We can see a very useful LED display here. I haven't got a film in, so it's saying E. It has a combination of modes. We have green for automatic, P programs, shutter, aperture, manual. Then we have a nighttime, sports, a close up, a landscape, and a portrait. So, well, that's normal, isn't it? Well, what is interesting, it is normal now, and it's very much how we expect a camera to behave. And when we look at this camera, although this is a film camera, it is so similar to things like the F50, the F80, the first Nikon SLRs, really, or the first consumer SLR. So if you are very used to those types of digital cameras, well, the further more recent cameras, this is a really good film camera to start on, because it's so similar and you will feel very familiar about it. The thing you might find a bit odd is not to have a screen on the back and to have to use the viewfinder. This has a 80 to 28 mil lens on. Unfortunately, the silent later lenses do not work on this model. We do have a plus minus for the aperture. We have a focusing there. We have bracketing, which is quite useful. We have the manual and automatic focusing. We have no zone on focusing. Oh, I say no, we have got a choice there, central or rider. And that is basically it. Let's see how I got on when I went out and used this camera. Very pleased with this first shot here. Nice little focus, good range of tones, and good exposure, though it's getting late in the evening. This was fine as well. It's from my memory, it's a 35 to 70 zoom lens here. I did have slight issues with the actual focusing, and I'm not sure if it's on because of the age of the camera, but the autofocus function seemed to be a little bit painful at times, where manually it was very easy to use. And in the end, I mainly had the lens set on manual. It was able to focus easily at this setting, where when I had it on automatic it seemed to search a little bit. I was pleased with the exposure of the camera. It's a very light camera to use, it's a very easy camera to use, and actually when I was using it I thought there's a lot I like about this camera. Yes, it is very similar to the F65, which has slightly more features, and the F75 is one up from there as well, and then you get to the F80. Now all these cameras, all these F55 to the F80s have similarities and all produce good quality photographs. These are taken on the Isle of Portland in Dorset, and it was a very sunny day. As I said, I was very pleased with the sharpness of this lens compared to the 24-55 lens I was using the week before on the F4. I think this was actually sharper, but I must add that the weather conditions were better. As you can see, it was very bright here, so my aperture is probably going down to f16. This is the iconic Dorset landmark of the lighthouse at Portland, a place called Portland Bill. It's very scenic, it's quite rugged. We spent a day walking around the island, and as I said, for a day's walk this camera is fantastic because it is light, it is easy to use. Lighting conditions are getting a little bit dark here. It's back to the evening around the house, and in front in the high street in Dorchester, evening light again, and that is at the telephoto setting, and I think it's come out moderately well. This is a camera that I would actually recommend. It's as I said at the beginning, it was a camera I had forgotten I've actually really enjoyed using it because it enables you to think and use your creativity, but at the same time, if you want to go to fully automatic mode, it enables you to do that. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.